What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, the team over at DICE put together a phenomenal trailer going ahead and showcasing some of the massive maps within Battlefield 6, which I'm extremely happy about, and it's cool to see that DICE is hearing a lot of the feedback. People are complaining, saying the maps are too tiny, it's not exactly what they're looking for out of the Battlefield experience. And they say, you know what, let's go ahead and put together a trailer showcasing some of the biggest maps in the rotation. And let me tell you guys something, they look really good. In this trailer, we get a sneak peek of Saints Quarter, which isn't really, I think it's going to be a medium-ish map, but it's going to be infantry only, so I don't think people really care right now, especially after what we played in the beta. I'm still curious, it looks cool. But for the overall community, again, they wanted to see the big stuff. They showcased Firestorm, which again, it's Firestorm, but it looks absolutely phenomenal. New Sobek City, Murok Valley, and also Manhattan Bridge, which I feel like is getting a lot of hate before people can actually even go ahead and give it a shot. Once players played Empire State, I think that put in everybody's mindset that any map taking place in New York is going to be a small condensed map. But Manhattan Bridge, from the gameplay at least, is showcasing helicopters and tanks. And from the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be, again, more of a medium to large style map, which is going to be awesome to go ahead and fight through. But ladies and gentlemen, overall, this was a phenomenal trailer. And it's awesome to see DICE listening to what the community is asking for. And also, a little off topic here, I want to mention this as well before we really dive deep into these maps. While we're on the discussion of DICE actually listening, a lot of players were having problems within Battlefield 2042 with the Battle Pass and how long it's taking to progress. People don't really want to play that game that much, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. And even for someone like myself who does put in a decent amount of hours, it's taken a while. I think I'm, not even on tier 30 yet. It's taken me a decent amount of time. So, DICE is going ahead and making sure that every single weekend up until the launch of Battlefield 6 will be double XP for 2042, which is awesome because once again, they're listening to a lot of the feedback players have been giving them. God, I wish a lot of other development teams would go ahead and pick this up as well. Some do, but I wish everybody would. I feel like at some point, if this can be successful and more teams start to pick up this type of, communication with talking to their communities, we could see a massive change in the gaming scene. But ladies and gentlemen, back to what I was saying about the maps. These maps look freaking fantastic. Each and every one of them. And again, for everybody who is very down bad about the map sizes within the beta, this should be putting a smile on your face, especially for me personally, Murok Valley. I said it before in my previous video where I went over a lot of the overviews of these maps, and I said Murok Valley I think is going to be my personal favorite. The layout looked absolutely phenomenal. A large map that looks like it has still some infantry focus, allowing infantry players not to always get destroyed by vehicles 24/7, while at the same time allowing for a lot of vehicle gameplay. I was really excited to see what this one is all about, and as we get more and more info and more footage here, it just continues to put a smile on my face. And the team over at DICE actually gave us a little bit of an overview to go ahead and check out, and of course, I'll go ahead and flash it up on the screen for you guys to see for yourselves. But this is basically the overview of what this map is going to look like. And of course, on the back end, in the middle, you'll see that is the middle of the map where the construction zone is. But there should be a bit more playable space behind that, so it extends pretty far. And also on the outskirts of the map, this is going to be awesome. Once again, allowing tanks and vehicles to have a little bit of fun, while at the same time they can creep up into the middle zone if they want to get some more infantry combat and, get into the thick of it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This, to me personally, perfectly describes what a great Battlefield map is all about. And don't get me wrong, I hope at some point in time we see those massive, only open maps, so vehicle players can have, strictly vehicle-dominant locations. But maps like this, I think, is where, the real fun happens, because everybody can have a blast and everybody can find something to do. And I would also like to go ahead and point out the vehicle count on this map. So far, if you look at the bottom right there are 2 jets, 2 helicopters, 3 tanks, and also some AA. This is going to be ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be great for, like I said, all different types of players. And it's wild because on Reddit, instead of everybody being pumped to try out a pretty big frickin' map right here, everyone's more focused on how short the jet runway looks on this overall image here. That's it. And they're saying because it's so small, that means the map is extraordinarily tiny. Guys, I know the image might look a little shrunk from the angle that it's, currently at. But as I stated from the overview, this looks exactly like the overview leaks that we saw. And if that's the case, that means it's way more extended, as I stated, on the opposite end of that center construction zone there. There's going to be plenty of space between your home base and the enemy home base. And there's going to be a lot of combat in between. It's going to make it hard for players to even be able to get back there. And if they do, I guess they kind of deserve it. But that also depends on, where the boundaries are going to be at on this overall map. For me personally, I don't know. I think it looks fantastic. Again, I do agree we could have some more larger maps that are just completely open, but I'm much more happy that they're starting off with this style of map layout, because the really large maps could always be added later down the road. What they should be prioritizing is literally maps made for everyone, so everybody can get an awesome experience. And again, as I said, as we keep going on, hopefully they could trickle more into the overall experience. But ladies and gentlemen, I also saw something over on Reddit, and I'm glad they pointed it out. This is a post by Piccolo saying, I know another map that does this. Downtown from Battlefield Hardline. Again, showcasing the image of when the crane goes down. I think this is on a Moro Valley, again, in the center of the map. But this is actually some pretty cool information, because now it kind of further confirms that we probably will be seeing downtown coming in from Hardline, which for me personally, I'm extremely happy to hear about. I know everybody has some hatred for Hardline, but for me personally, I love that game. I really did. It's not my favorite Battlefield game out there, and yeah, I do agree it could have been DLC for Battlefield 4 if we're going to be honest, but man, it was a very unique experience, and it's awesome to see that some maps from that game might be coming on into Battlefield 6. I would also love to see Bank Job as well. I didn't see anything in the leaks about Bank Job, but that would be also another map that could probably, kind of find its way into the overall Battlefield 6 experience. And ladies and gentlemen, I've also been seeing, floating around online from a lot of people, a screenshot from the trailer of New Sobek City that just looks absolutely stunning. Can we all just be honest here? This map looks beautiful, and it might be a bit bland to some, but I'm loving the overall atmosphere. And again, please, DICE, God, I really hope we can go back to the pyramids. That would be so freaking badass. But overall, like I said, a lot of these maps are looking unbelievably clean. And as stated before, the larger combat is looking solid. People were so concerned that we weren't going to see anything more open with a little bit more variety, more vehicles in the mix. And then here we are with the trailer, and DICE does exactly that. They showcase everything that we've been missing out on, and kind of proves their point that they were just kind of fine-tuning the experience of Battlefield 6 when it came down to the beta. They wanted to test the small maps, because the small maps is where everybody's condensed. More action, more gunfights, allowing more people to test out the weapons, find bugs with guns, and also allowing for all the destruction to be more fine-tuned. It's better to fine-tune the destruction when you have like 50 people on the same location of it happening, compared to 5 people with some destruction going on. It's a lot more crap that has to be optimized, and that's how you get it done. And they proved it to us, ladies and gentlemen. They showcased absolutely everything that they have to offer, and I am pumped. And the fact that DICE did come out and say that, pretty much everything else moving forward is going to be larger than what we saw within the beta, only confirms that we're going to be seeing more maps like Moro Valley or New Sobek City. And obviously, probably, maybe larger maps coming in the future. And that is the direction I want to see. With the foundation that Battlefield 6 has right now, and the fun that could be had along with these maps, I know people are really mad that I'm enjoying this game. But I am so freaking pumped to see what else they have in store. For the first time, I truly do believe that Battlefield might potentially be back. But ladies and gentlemen, do me a massive favor, go down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about these overall maps here. Do you think they're looking good? Do you think they look bad? Also about the Moro Valley image I showcased to you guys, the overview. What are you thinking? Do you think that it does look pretty small, especially when it comes to the, the jet space? or do you agree it's a bit more to it? Personally, I think it's all right. And until we actually get hands-on, it's hard to judge. But from the looks of it, I think a lot of people are going to be happy between vehicle gameplay and also the infantry gameplay. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post here daily at 8 in the morning Eastern Time. And sometimes we double upload at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything between COD, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, Gears, pretty much anything that sparks my interest, I'll go ahead and discuss. So subscribe and hit that bell. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday over on Twitch, starting between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, if you guys are interested, I'll link that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next one. Peace out.